Hi, hello, welcome. This week we are going to be talking about the fear of failure and how that is driving you to not accomplish the things that you want to be accomplishing in your life, and how it's sneaking up on you when you think that what you need is another structure, it's another to-do list, it's another plan, a blueprint, whatever it is that you think you need to get you to achieve your goal, when what's actually happening is you have an underlying fear of failure that is attached to past experiences, to shame, to your self-worth, to all that, those kind of feelings that are stopping you from taking the first step to achieving your goal. Now, this is one example that I was talking with one of my clients recently, and this person have a goal in her life to achieve. And when we first discussed, is she told me that she doesn't have a plan to get there. She know her goal. She knows how her goal exactly look like. She have a clear vision of it. She's not feeling foggy or lack of direction about that. But it's the middle part that she doesn't know how she will get there. She doesn't know what she should be doing, how she should be doing it. And she's finding herself doing all the other things all the time, having a million tabs open, having too much going on. And then so she never have the time to do it. She's never prioritizing it. She's getting distracted all the time. And so she isn't focusing. She's being inattentive. And she came to me and she said, Maggie, I need to plan in the middle. I don't know how to get there. And the understanding here is that, the reality is when someone has that much clarity where exactly they want to get, it's not about the lack of clarity of the step by step. Because I asked her this question and I said, what would happen if we take a whole weekend and I put you on a desk in a closed room and there's no distraction, there's nothing else to do for you, then to sit down and make that plan? Will you do that plan? Do you know how to make that plan to get there? And the answer was not even an hesitation. So, oh yes, I would. So she even know how to do the plan. But what's happening here is she hasn't got the time. She hasn't taken the time to do the plan. It has nothing to do with her end goal, with the plan itself. But as we keep talking, what's unraveling from this is that she hasn't taken the time to carve out, to do the planning. Because if she make the planning and fail on starting and taking the plan, or she fail along the plan that she's creating, and she fail achieving the goal that she's creating a plan for, then she wouldn't be worthy of the work she's trying to achieve, the goal she's trying to achieve, and the change she's trying to do. So you can call it perfectionism. You can call it it's a fear of failure. You can call it it's a lack of self-worth. It's shame. It's all of those emotions that in the past we either have tried to accomplish something and we fail, and people around us have either said things that made us question our self-worth, or made comment that made us believe less about ourselves, or that their own expectation for themselves is so high that how they project the expectation to you is unrealistic, because most of the people have expectations that are not achievable, because in the society, we only talk about when you win and how you get there. No one really talk a lot about how long did it take, how many times did you fail before you actually succeeded. And there's no way you can actually be successful unless you know or have failed a few times, because then you're just redefining what the success mean like for you and how you can better get there. So this woman, she knows how to get there. She knows exactly how to get there. She's no way she want to get. And yet she's not taking the time to sit and do this plan. this 5-year plan to get to her goal. Not because she doesn't know it, not because she doesn't know how to do it, not because she doesn't even know her goal. She knows all of that, but just there, living in her awareness, and she's not taking action because she has all this emotional baggage that is stopping her from taking action. Because what would happen if she didn't succeed? What would people think about her? What would she become? Would she be worthy of this goal, of this greater vision that she has? Now, many of you probably also have a fear of speaking. And it's not fear of public speaking, really. It's the fear of failure that comes from it. What happens if you go on stage and you forget the words? What happens if you go on stage and you lose your voice, or you feel uncomfortable, that you feel the pressure and you forget everything? That's what's really we're afraid of. Most of the things that we're doing, it's the fear of failure that is driving us of not doing the things that we want to be doing. And that fear of failure on a really deep level, it's only the validation and appreciation in the sense of belonging. Because what happens if you make a mistake and someone laughs? Then it will make you feel unworthy of being there. It will make you feel unlovable. It will make you feel like you are in love. It will make you feel that you shouldn't be there. And when we feel we shouldn't be there, we don't belong, or we don't fit in, or we are not meeting the standard for being there, then we don't belong. And the sense of not belonging threaten our safety. It threatens how we can survive in this world, a sense of survival, which is really deep root and it's really primal. But that's where really the sense of belonging is coming from, of if people laugh at you, or people have a reaction because you forget and you're not meeting people's expectation, and you think they're going to kick you out and they don't want to have you there, then you're going to be all alone. And not in a survival point of view, it's like that. We know that inherently in our core that for some of us it's stronger than others, it's really primal, and some people have more of that survival motivation that comes. But it's like if you don't belong there, then you can't survive. You can't do all of it on your own. Even though that's not how society works nowadays, but in some level it does, because some of our feelings and our needs can only be met when we are working with others. When you feel lonely, for example, and you need deep relationship, you need connection, meaningful connection to fulfill that feeling, so you're not feeling lonely. You need others. Everything that you have around you, the food that you eat, the people that built your house, the people that make sure to take care of the electricity. This is all how we come together to create the way you live now. It's entirely dependent of how we all come together and play a piece in this world, in this society, in this community. And that's why going and doing some of the things that are frightening for you, it's really at a really rooted place. It's that. And it feels almost like that. So, because if you can't survive, then there's death, right? And so at that moment, it's like if going and speaking on stage is equivalent of dying for some people because of that. Because they don't know how they are going to be able to survive if they're not doing and meeting the expectation that they think other people are having for them. Now, on another side note, this also comes from a lot of the conditioning that we have when we're young. Because everything that we've learned come from our parents, or caretaker, and all these people. And so that's something that is learned entirely. So either because our own parents had too much expectation or had this fear of failure, and we got to understand that kids are very, very empathic, and they can sense way more. We lose this ability of be able to sense other when we grew up, or it's overdeveloped in the sense that then we start even forgetting how we feel. But the sense that in this intuition, it doesn't have to come in word. We can just watch how someone is behaving when we're young, and we are registering what we are seeing and how they're feeling. And just having this knowledge is firming how we are perceiving ourselves. Because that's all the knowledge that we have about survival, is how we are watching how our own parents survive, how they help us survive, how we can survive. And then so we take on those patterns, those behaviors, and we put them upon ourselves. And we act on them. We just become who we are at some levels. And sometimes we're not really sure where it came from. Sometimes it was just a moment that we had no one to comfort us when we felt excluded, when we felt lonely, when we felt we didn't do good enough. When people met, it's a feeling that came and arose from having our own perception of ourselves and how people perceived us. And so we made up that feeling the first time. And then if it had never been challenged to make it, the perception never been challenged, then it's still the same feeling. And every time you engage in that behavior or in the pattern of something similar and you experience the same thing, then it reinforces that belief. It reinforces it. And so that's where really fear of failure come from. And that's what is stopping a lot of people from getting started on doing things. Not because they don't know all the things they should be doing. And most of the people come to me because they think they don't know, they need another plan. But really what's happening is they think at the really deep level, even if you work to make your plan together and to have the perfect plan, the perfect strategy, they have an underlying fear, this emotional baggage of past experiences, that they felt that way and felt they couldn't meet expectation, and what would happen if they actually didn't meet this expectation for themselves and from others. In that fear can be much, much stronger in motivating you on not doing what you know you want to be doing. So fear of failure, if you are experiencing that in some areas of your life, where I'm going to be suggesting for you is just to challenge your perception and sit with that, just sitting with that awareness. What is the perception and expectation you have for yourself? And what is the perception, expectation you think others have of yourself? And how realistic are they? What is the story you having in your mind that is stopping you from doing that, which is not based in reality? And then from that place, really coming up with a worst case scenario. Because we still operate such in a primal way sometimes, the real worst case scenario, maybe it's just like you stumble on words and that's just it. What is the worst thing that happened when you stumble on words? What is it? Nothing. Really nothing happened. Really nothing happened. But our mind makes up all those lies and patterns and consequences that come with it from little things. So we really have to come up with what is the worst case scenario? What will really happen? If the story we're holding about ourselves and about how others perceive us were to come through, what is really the worst case scenario? And from that place, that's when we can start making changes. Now, I hope you got some things from this fear of failure. And if you need more information about that, don't hesitate to reach out. And make sure you get my book, Finish What You Start, book.com, to really help you in all those aspects in your life that are stopping you from finishing what you start and following through with your goals and your plans and what you know you need to do in your life. My name is Meggie Houle. Goodbye.